Diego city attorney, mayor, and city council members are all set to cash in on a scheduled pay raise. It'll mark the 6th one in 5 years, and it doesn't appear there's anything they can do to stop it, even if they wanted to.
The world, politics.
Retiree Mike Cavanaugh has called San Diego home for 22 years.
It is just a wonderful lifestyle.
A lifestyle that's getting harder to afford. So he pays attention to things like San Diego's $258 million budget crisis.
Eventually, the quality of life that we have is just not going to be there. And I just like San Diego too much to see it go down.
Part of the city solution are budget cuts and asking San Diegans to pay more for things like public parking. So he reached out to NBC7 Investigates, and he wasn't alone. Our team got emails from folks asking us to dig deeper into how the city spends our tax dollars in the first place.
That's why I reached out to you, and I was very surprised when I received the email back.
Some asked us how much city officials get paid. We thought that was a good question, so we asked the city for payroll records. San Diego's mayor makes $244,727 a year. That means Mayor Todd Gloria makes more than the governor of California. And San Diego's 9 council members take home $183,545 a year, more than members of Congress. They're all scheduled for another pay raise this summer, and just like the last 5 raises they've received since 2020, this year's pay bump will come without a public vote or public notice. The reason they can do that, and the reason they make as much as they do today, is because San Diego voters approved it overwhelmingly in a 2018 ballot measure.
These are the only salaries in the city that have actually been voted on by the folks.
Bob Ottley was the chief proponent and author of Measure L, the result of 2 decades of effort. Effort born out of frustration, says Ottley, from watching what he says were costly and incompetent deals out of City Hall. Ottley said many of the people serving on the council couldn't understand complicated city contracts.
And I sat down and I said, how do we fix it?
At the time, the city of San Diego paid council members less than $70,000 a year. In theory, council members could have voted to raise their salaries, but in practice, the move was unpopular.
But it was a mess, and it had to be fixed.
So Ottley looked at how elected officials in Las Vegas successfully raised their position salaries.
I realized that they made it more attractive to voters by eliminating all those perks that nobody knew about.
Perks like car allowances and hundreds of thousands of dollars in premium event tickets.
So how do you sell that to the voters? And ultimately, we sold it to the voters as an ethics package.
So in addition to raising San Diego elected officials' salaries to automatically align with San Diego Superior Court judges, Measure L also eliminated those car and sports ticket perks and barred city officials from taking lobbying jobs after leaving office. Otilli's plan worked. Measure L passed overwhelmingly. 78% voted yes. The result, in his mind, has been a wild success, with more qualified officials at the helm. Now that his measure has more than doubled the salaries of elected officials in less than 5 years, we asked him whether he still supports it.
I mean, it's the least we can do. Quite frankly, I think the number ought to go up.
How many of the voters who voted in favor of this do you think really understood what it meant in terms of council salaries?
I don't know. I mean, that's a question. The answer to that question is the same to anything that goes on the ballot.
Do you think when most voters read that, they really understood how much money council members and the mayors would then start making, and how those automatic raises would work?
No.
NBC7 Investigates reached out to all 9 city council members and Mayor Todd Gloria. We didn't ask them about a pay cut, just whether they would consider not taking their next scheduled raise. The short answer was no. A couple of city council member offices questioned whether they could legally forego a scheduled pay raise. So we asked the city attorney's office, and they got back to us. They said because Measure L made elected official salaries part of the city charter, it would require a voter-approved amendment to that charter for any city council member or the mayor to forego a pay raise or give back a portion of their salary. Mayor Todd Gloria's communications director sent us this statement. Quote, the mayor's salary will remain consistent with the voter-approved salary setting formula, even as his workload expanded significantly with the assumption of the former chief operating officer's duties. By assuming this additional executive role, Mayor Gloria relieved the taxpayers of hundreds of thousands of dollars in salary and benefit costs. In addition, he reduced his staff by 10% and effected a departmental consolidation in February that is saving taxpayers $5.3 million annually. Shouldn't we have very attractive salaries to recruit the best possible candidates?
Now that you're getting 183,000, are we really getting 2.5 times better service? Are our roads better? I don't see any difference.
Alexis Rivas, NBC 7 investigates.